fishing's definitely helped from since I retired, because when I retired, I was ready for it.
Yeah.
I was 40 when I retired, and so I've been in football a long time.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of ex-footballers struggle. They don't have anything to do, and I'm like, I'm going fishing. I'm going to play golf with me and my wife, Frankie. Still ice skate. So I got like lots to do. And I still sometimes feel like I don't go fishing enough.
So, David, mate, tell me about these pals of yours that actually go fishing.
There's not as many as you'd think, actually. I know that. So, like my number 2 at Arsenal, a long way back, was Alex Meninga. He was a good carp fisherman, actually.
Yeah.
And then you've got people like Bobby Zamora, Mark Noble, and Gaza.
Wow.
My mate Gaza. Wow. You can't imagine him fishing, can you?
No.
Honestly, he's not bad at fly fishing, but when I take him, his fly spends more time out of the water than it does in, because he's constantly like changing it.
Yeah, of course.
And I've actually had to pull him out of the water once as well. Back in the day when he was on all sorts, he fell in, saw a trout rise a bit further out, went for a massive cast, splosh, England tracksuit on, up to here in water, and I was crying, I was in tears. Yeah. I'm like, get out, and he's like, oh, help me out.
Wow.
Pulled him out and went, sort yourself out on fishing.
Wow. But that's what it's all about, isn't it? Making memories and spending time with your pals.
We hear your first ever £20 carp was caught at Farlow's. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. Wow. Good research. Yeah, my first ever £20 carp was caught at Farlow's Lake. I used to live in Ivor, which is right next to Farlow's. I used to go over the farmer's field out my garden, under the M25, and I was there at Farlow's.
Wow.
And the first 20 pounder was the first, possibly the only time I've ever made boilies myself. Peanut boilie. 20 pounder. I was chuffed.
Do you do much sea fishing?
A little bit. I do a little bit of that with, I know Barry Earn quite well, and we go out on a boat that he charters, and we went sea bass fishing, and we were catching sea bass like you catch mackerel. Yeah. It was cool. It was just like with the little feathers and that, and then all of a sudden bang, 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 and you have like 4 fish on one go.
No fancy lures then, just a set of mackerel feathers.
Yeah, I've had a decent sea bass in Portugal, actually. I went off the rocks on the Western Algarve. I had a 14.5 pounder. Wow. I know, that's a massive fish, yeah.
A big old fish.
Yeah.
The life cycle of bass, as you probably know, they're a very slow growing fish.
Yeah, and I had it on a popper. And I was like firing it out as far as I could into the waves and everything. And next thing, I hooked it, and it just went, and I was like, what have I hooked? Because it was just going, and I managed to turn it, and then I got it in. It was a 14.5. So,
it's the biggest carp you've ever had.
Biggest carp. It was last May. I had a 42.8 from Frimley at Pit 3.
Wow.
So split scale, it was called.
Split scale.
I didn't know that at the time. I put the photos up on socials, and a lot of the lads were like, "Oh, that's split scale, and it's not caught very often." And my first fish out of the lake.
Wow.
So it was really nice. So I'm trying to beat that at the moment.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, and I believe you've always wanted to catch a zander.
Yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to do, because I've seen them, the vampire fish. Yeah. And and I've never caught one. I think I saw Matt Hayes and Mick Brown on the 7 getting them. So I've never had a zander, never had a 20-pound pike. So the next winter, we're on it. Yeah.
So what would the best day out on the bank look like for you?
Best day out fishing on the bank would be bivvy, 3 rods out.
Yeah.
Night time.
Yeah.
I just love being out at night, doing an all-nighter.
Yeah.
It's just great being out, in a way. That's where the love of fishing came from, just being out. And you don't always have to catch.
No.
You still enjoy it, even if you don't catch a big fish.
Yeah.
So, yeah. In my bivvy, in my sleeping bag, on my bed chair, my stove. Might have a few little tins hidden at the side.
Tucked away.
Yeah.
Do you do much like waggler fishing or?
Yeah, well, not so much waggler. I do quite a bit of stick float.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we live on the river, and so it's nice that we've got, I can get on, like, I know it sounds posh, but we've got a bridge, so I'll stand on the bridge and just run down. But it's really nice. But I just love all aspects of fishing, you know. And then obviously in the winter, I get my lures out and start fishing the whirlpools and stuff. And that's similar to when I was playing football. As soon as I got a day off, I would go the night before the day off. So we'd train in the morning.
Yep.
And then I'd say to the lads, right, I'm going night fishing. They were like, if anybody phones, we're with you.
So all of a sudden everyone's going fishing.
Yeah, allegedly.
Did fishing help along with the stress of football?
Fishing does help with the stress of football, but it helps with the relaxation as well. You know, and I always tell people now, even like when I go to Arsenal, you need to do something other than football.
Yeah.
To take your mind off it, because you know you can get too deep into it and I'm like.
Yeah. Okay, here's one for you, David. Golf club or rod?
Rod. No problem. Do you know what? That's weird because I only got asked that question about 3 months ago. I've never been asked it before.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. And then I was like, no, fishing all day long.
Yeah.
Even yesterday I was presenting some prizes at a golf day. And they were like, how's your golf? And I went, my fishing's better.